I'm a chess master and I'm about to show you the art, the science, and the sport of chess. Stick around. This one is 2367. Let's play e5, knight f3. I'm going to play the Petrov defense for this game. He took the pawn, and what we need to do is play d6 to chase away the knight. Then we take back the pawn. Now, d4 is actually theoretical. We're going to be playing d5, guarding the knight. He plays bishop to d3 to apply some pressure to my knight. I'm just going to go bishop d6 and simply castle my king. I'm assuming he's also going to castle. So we're both castled at this point. And now he plays rook to e1 to apply pressure to my knight. So here I need to be careful. He's attacking my knight twice. I'm only guarding it once. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play rook to e8. Now I'm guarding my knight twice. And then he plays c4 because if I take his bishop, I'm only guarding my knight once. But let's just play pawn c6 here. Let's guard the knight again. Knight to d2 is interesting. Now my knight is under attack 1, 2, 3 times. I'm only guarding it twice. With that being said, I'm thinking of the simple bishop to f5. So now it's 1, 2, 3 defenders, 1, 2, 3 attackers were safe. Queen to b3 was played, which means he's applying pressure to d5 and he's threatening b7. So I have to be careful here. But there's actually a nice little idea that I'm going to use. I'm actually going to play the move knight a6. And then if he takes my pawn, knight b4, threatens his bishop, and this queen could be getting trapped. So it could be a poisoned pawn. However, if he plays pawn to c4, then I may have to sacrifice my knight. And then if he takes, I take, and then my knight hits both the bishop and the queen at the same time. So it's a very tricky situation. I mean, his bishop on f1 is not developed. His rook on a1 is not doing anything. My rook on a8 is not doing anything. And just for you guys to understand, if he decides to take on d5 twice, then bishop h2 actually wins the queen. So I think I'm doing fine. I'm expecting him to play a3 to prevent knight b4. But what am I going to do after that move? So he did decide to play a3 because he doesn't want my knight going to the b4 square. So what I'm going to do here is just play the simple queen to d7. I connect my rooks. I guard my pawn on b7. Now my knight is on the edge of the board, so I need to ensure that I get my knight off the edge of the board. I'm also thinking about taking on c4, seeing that way it attacks his queen. So some tactical ideas may come from that. But for now, once my knight is on e4 and he's not able to get my knight out of his half of the board, then I should be in good shape, especially since pawn to c5 is a blunder. Now, something he could try is to take and then take. He decided to pull his queen back to c2, which is interesting because now my knight is under attack 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm guarding it 1, 2, 3 times. So I need to be careful here. Right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's start by playing h6. H6 is just to create some loft for the king. I do not think he's able to take the pawn on e4, seeing that way his rooks are not connected. Some very nice tactical ideas may be here. So, for example, if he takes, 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 bishop takes, let's say takes, takes, bishop takes, queen e7 actually pins the bishop, because if he moves the bishop, I'm able to take his rook, sack my queen, and win the game. And then I think he has to play bishop to g5 in that scenario. So he did take. Let's take. Now I'm hitting the bishop. And after he plays bishop takes, this is where it gets interesting. There's also queen to e6. So queen e6, d5, queen e6, d5, I take. Queen e7, bishop g5. So I'm going to actually play queen e6. Queen e6. Yeah, let's go queen e6. This is weird. If he takes my bishop, then he's mated. Okay, knight to e5 is interesting. He's basically just giving it back. But this can't be good though. Yeah, this cannot be good. Because all I need to do is just take the bishop. And once I take the bishop, I'm just going to hit him with f6 and he's going to lose his knight. That's crazy. I think he's lost here. Or I'm missing something. I have two pieces on the same line as e4. Any piece that he decides to take with will be pinned. Well, it will be pinning the knight. And because it will be pinning the knight, I'm going to play f6 and apply pressure to that pinned knight. So he decided to take with the rook. Now we hit him with 6. Anywhere he puts the knight, we're taking the rook, which means he's not able to move the knight. And if he does not move the knight, we take the knight and we're ahead by a piece. And then from there, it's just simply trading pieces off the board that we're going to be using to win this game. Well, he resigns. All right, this guy's 2280. He plays d4. Let's go knight to f6, playing some Indian game. And then after c4, I'm going to play e6. I'm trying to play the Nimza Indian defense, but then he plays g3, which means it's going to be a Catalan. With that being said, let's just play d5. I'm going to play with well, it's not a QGD setup because after he plays bishop g2, I'm actually going to put my bishop on d6, then castle. Because if he plays c4, my bishop goes back, knight to f3. Let's just get the king out the center of the board. And the whole idea, once he castles, I'm going to play the move knight c6. That was my whole idea. And I'm never afraid of a pawn going to c5 because once I go back, I should be fine. Usually, when they play knight to c3, we have to be on the lookout for knight b5. I mean, taking on c4 is definitely an idea here. Yeah, in fact, let's just take on c4. Taking on c4 is also the point of all of these moves that I'm playing because I'm trying to play e5 on the next turn. And it doesn't mean that I'm ahead by a pawn, by the way. Like my opponent is playing the Catalan. Do not mess with the Catalan, especially when they have this bishop. Like they literally have a name for it. It's called the Catalan bishop. So queen to a4, I mean, he's just trying to regain his pawn, to be honest. Now, bishop to b4, I really like. Because what bishop to b4 does, for one, it holds on to my pawn, but two, it makes e4 harder for him, and three, I'm attacking d4. But what if I play bishop d4 and he plays a3? And then I takes, he takes. Okay, that's something. Why not just play e5 now? E5 takes, 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 queen takes, bishop e6 hits the queen, and I'm fine. I'm trying to be a bit greedy, which is never good. Knight b4 is also an idea because if he plays a3, there's bishop d7, which hits the queen. And I mean, if he pulls back the queen, it means he didn't get the pawn, and I'm able to play knight d5. Yeah, let's go with this idea. This is the greedy version of it. I think e5 is a bit better, but he's 2280, so he should be making some inaccuracies. So once he plays a3, we do not move the knight. We first play bishop to d7. This is called an in-between move, forcing his queen away. And then only after the queen move, then we move the knight. So the question is, do I pull the knight back to c6 or do I play knight d5? If knight d5, there's no e4. Yeah, let's play knight d5. There's no e4 because if he plays e4, I take on e4 because the knight is guarding e4. So once I take on c3 and he takes back, I take on e4 and I'm ahead by 2 pawns, which is why he played rook to e1 because now he wants to play e4, which is why I'm gonna hit him with bishop to c6. Wait, do I play bishop c6? Yeah, let's try bishop c6. I mean, a bishop usually goes to c6 when we play against the Catalan. It's very important that we try to counter this bishop. I'm trying to ensure that e4 is a hard move for him to play. And obviously, he's trying his best to attack c4 and play e4. But what I'm about to do definitely will allow me to either equalize the game or gain an advantage. I'm going to get rid of the Catalan bishop. Anytime you're able to get rid of this Catalan bishop, don't think about it, just do it. Sometimes it's good to get rid of the Catalan bishop by even sacrificing a pawn. Now that he takes with the king, my c pawn is under attack. And keep in mind, I'm ahead by a pawn. I'm trying to hold on to the pawn. Like, this is not the best advice. Like, do not try to be greedy and hold on to your pawns, but he's going to have to show me why I'm being greedy. I mean, I do not have any undeveloped piece or anything. And in my defense, I could say I'm trying to get my queen to b7. So he plays e4 with the whole idea of playing e5. I could just hit him with e5 because if takes takes, I'm attacking this. That's interesting. Now, what if he plays f4? If e5 f4, I takes, he forks, I take. Okay, that's actually very tricky. I don't want to fall for that. Let's just pull the bishop back to e7. He's never going to be able to play e5 because once he plays e5, I have knight d5. And then my plan is to play queen c8, queen b7, putting my queen on the same line as the king. Knight f3 means the knight is heading towards e5, which is why I'm going to go queen b7, knight e5, queen here, hit the pawn. I have to be careful. Once the rook gets here, things could get dangerous, but let's go for it. Let's go queen c8. I'm ahead by a pawn, so I'm really chilling. If I have to lose a pawn, it's going to be an equal position anyways. So the knight gets to e5. Queen b7 hits the pawn, but then he has queen f3. I don't want to put my queen on b7 and then have to worry about rook b1. But then I need to be able to play knight d7. And if knight d7, no, there's knight c6. Why not just c5 here? I don't know. Like, I almost missed c5. And I'm sure c5 has to be the best move because I have double pawns anyway. So why not just get rid of the double pawns? I almost missed that move. Now, I'm slightly afraid of d5, but just slightly, just because it gives him a pass pawn. But it could be a weakness. and it could be a strength. It's a bit tricky. D5 takes, and then the knight gets access to the C6 square. It's actually a bit tricky. Now, yeah, it's tricky. Okay, let's get. Oh, yo, I forgot about the time. This guy's playing so fast. So he did finally decided to play rook to b1 to attack my pawn. Now, if I takes, maybe he could even take. So let's just play a6 to guard the pawn, just to solidify everything. And definitely expecting a4. He's trying to break my structure apart. Okay, what do we do here? If I take, or do I just play rook to b8? Rook to b8, I have to worry about a knight going to c6 once he plays d5. That's the thing. Do I have b4? Wait. Do I have b4? If b4 knight takes, there's takes. If b4 takes, and if b4 takes, I take it the knight. B4 knight takes it the knight, queen takes, rook here. Okay, I'm playing way too slow anyways. I'm just playing way too slow. Rook to b8 would have been the safer move, but again, I'm ahead by a pawn. Oh my god, I just blundered. Oh my god. He's able to play knight takes because if I takes, there's knight b7 and that's a fork. So knight takes, I'm probably going to sacrifice the exchange actually. So if he takes, I takes, he forks, queen c6, he takes, and then I take on e4. Can I do that? No, there's queen f3. Shiz. Okay, let's think. I take, he goes here. I hit the knight. He takes my rook. And then I take on c3. And I'm just going to say, bro, your knight is trapped. And I'm going to take a knight on the next move. And I have two connected pass pawns. Oh, that's what I'm going to say. Like, does it mean I'm winning? Who knows? Let's go queen c6, hit the knight. Queen c6 hit the knight. I'm also attacking e4. So if he takes my rook, he's expecting me to take, but the knight is trapped. So let's take on c3 first. These are called connected pass pawns, by the way. Connected pass pawns are dangerous. So if I'm able to take, if I'm not losing, I'm winning. And I'm serious. Like, if I'm not just not completely losing this position, then I'm winning this position. So queen to d4, that's a nice move. He's protecting his pawn. Okay, let's just take back our knight. Nothing too fancy. Just take back the knight. Good, good. Bishop c5, pawn a5. Nice. That pawn is also hanging. Oh, he sacrificed back the exchange. Poor guy. Poor guy. Okay, let's just take. He decided to sack back the exchange, which means I'm actually ahead by a pawn. You see how much respect people have for pass pawns, especially when they're protected? Now I want to play e5. I want to play e5 to fix this weakness. There's rook e3, but then I have rook c8. Let's play e5 actually. No, e5 does nothing. What am I saying? Okay, do I just roll the pawn? Pass pawns must be pushed. Let's go rook to c8 first. Let's see what's happening. I'm ahead by a pawn, but I only have 3 minutes on the clock, so I have to play super duper fast. Knight g4 to e5 would be a nice idea. Bishop to f4 prevents e5. Like, I want to play e5 to say that I'm fixing the e4 pawn as a weakness, but it's not even a weakness. He's able to play f3, which is a weird move. Okay, I honestly do not have an idea how I'm going to convert this, but I'm going to be patient. I know that whenever you have a pass pawn, you're supposed to push it. So let's push the pass pawn. Let's just be patient. Good thing is, he's never going to be able to win my pawn because even if he attacks it twice, I'm going to be able to guard it twice. I just need to not lose this game on time. I'm expecting f3 because his e4 pawn is actually a target, but then he plays a5, which is definitely a weird move. If I play e5 and he takes, I queen. So e5 now is actually an attacking move. Where does he put the bishop? Yo, just play, bro. Just play. Queen c4 takes. Yeah, let's play h6. Let's just play h6. We're not getting back rank checkmated. Push, maybe bishop back to d2. Knight g4. I don't know how my time is this low. It's crazy. Okay, queen b6 takes. I don't think I want to take that. I don't think I want to take that. That's also not free. Wait, if I takes, queen takes, rook takes, queen takes, that's probably drawn. Let's go queen c4. Guard this pawn, keep this pawn under attack. e5 is still an idea because the bishop is doing a very nice role. Okay, how do I window? That's the whole idea. This is under attack. f3 I'm expecting f3 here. So there's knight d7, knight c5, knight d3 ideas as well. I just need to play fast. That's all. I think I'm going to play knight d7 next, regardless of what he does. I can't be thinking too much. So f3, let's just hit him with knight d7. I can't be thinking too much. Good thing is, if I get a knight on d3, I'm winning. Okay, queen b7, there's no knight c5, seeing that I lose the rook. Dang. Okay, queen c6 takes. Can I go e5 now? Oh no, this is under attack. Scheiße. Okay, let's try queen c6. I didn't really want to trade the queens off the board because now his king gets to join the defense. But again, if a knight gets to either b3 or d3, I'm winning. But I just have to make some quick decisions here. Okay, what if he plays queen d2? Knowing, okay, he traded. Let's just work with that. King moves, knight c5. That's the third. That's the third. I'm threatening a fork. He has to be careful. Bishop c1 doesn't work. Maybe he has to play king e2, but there's knight b3. Knight b3 threatens the queen and it threatens the pawn. He pulls the bishop back. No, okay, let's just grab the free pawn. I'm ahead by 2 pawns. I'm not losing this game anymore. So once the knight gets to b3, so king up, we go back to b3. I'm ahead by 2 pawns, so I want to trade. And his rook is going to be in prison on c8. And if he takes on c2, I can use the fox in the chicken coop technique to win this. But before I start rushing this position, I'm probably going to be rolling my pass pawn up the board or even getting my king in the game. Like, we're in the end game, guys. He resigns. Our opponent is now 2383. Let's go knight to f6. C4. Let's do the Indian game. And knight c3, and I'm going to be playing the Nimzo Indian defense. That's the name of this opening. Queen to b3 is actually very interesting. I've never seen queen to b3, but pawn to c5 has to be good. Pawn to c5 guards the bishop, and if he takes the pawn, he gets double pawns. And pawn to c5 is also one of the moves. So now that he takes, I'm actually not going to immediately take on c5. In fact, I may want to take on c5 with a knight. So let's play knight c6. Again, I guard the bishop, but I have an idea of taking the knight, then playing knight takes c5 and, gain some tempo on his queen. And usually in the Nimzo Indian, when you have these kind of positions, you could try to keep the opponent's king in the center. He plays e3, could say he's blocking out his bishop, but this bishop usually goes on this diagonal. Now, let me just get my king out the center of the board, first and foremost. Like, king safety is important. Bishop to d2 was played. Decent move. Now I want to take, but if I take, I lose this. And then knight d3 is not a fork. If I take this way, then that's just weird. All right. I like the idea of playing queen a5, but then there's a3, and after takes, my queen is going to be under attack. This is actually a very tricky situation. Like, okay, what about queen e7? Queen e7 seems like a regular, natural move. Let's play queen e7. Like, I want to take the knight, but it's usually good to wait until they attack the bishop, and I only have 8 minutes on the clock. Like, so he did attack the bishop. Now let's take the knight, followed by knight takes c5. And once I play knight takes c5, his queen is under attack. Now, one thing I need to, oh, wait, I think he's able, nah. If he takes on f6, I'm not scared. I'm just going to take back, actually. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. So bishop to b4, I'm also not scared. Queen to c2, maybe he wants to play b4 and attack my knight. I'm thinking of just playing d5 here, actually, and just to open the position because his king is not yet castled. So d5, b4, my knight gets the e4 square. So let's just go d5. If he takes, I'm able to take with either the knight or the pawn, so I'm doing fine. The only piece that I do not have, or the only piece that is not yet developed, is my light squared bishop. So knight to f3, if I takes, I'm helping his bishop. Knight e4, I like. Bishop d7, I really like. Because bishop to d7 threatens bishop to a4 to attack his queen, and my knight could also get access to the b3 square. So all I'm doing is developing, but the development move seems to be good. I'm not going to act like I'm winning here, by the way. Whenever this happens, the opponent gets something. Now, if you're able to recognize what the opponent has in return for me having such a nice development, then it's the bishop pair. And if you were able to guess that he has the bishop pair, then you have some potential. Bishop e2, usually we should be able to take, so that way he moves the bishop more than once. I'm thinking of just playing the move bishop a4 first, though. It can't be bad. It's an attacking move. It hits the queen. I'm going to try everything in my power to keep that king in the center of the board. The only way I can do that is by playing attacking moves. I'm not 100% sure that it's possible though, but the queen is not on a good square. So knight b3 hits the rook. Rook to a2 is not a square for a rook. Then I take. Yo, I think I have an advantage. I just don't know what to do. Maybe bishop b3. Bishop b3. If he takes, then I take. Hit the bishop. So that way, if he castle, I take. Okay, I just know that a rook does not belong on a2. That's all. That's all I'm going with. A rook doesn't belong on a2. It has to move the rook there. So now if I takes, bishop takes. Yeah, let's just take. I'm just trying to keep his king in the center of the board. I want to be playing forcing move. Now he has to take. Now that he takes, I'm thinking b5, but I also like the idea of rook to c8, bringing more pieces in the game, hitting the bishop. If he takes, I take it, the rook goes back, and but he pulls back to d3 instead, which is a nice move. Didn't see that move, to be honest. But what if I play knight d5, hit the bishop? If he takes, I move. Bishop is still under attack. At this point, if he castles, I take and trap the bishop. Let's try it. Am I really going to play this move? Knight d5? It's so risky. But let's do it. His king is in the center of the board. Knight d5 is either a brilliant or a blunder. And I also have one more idea. His bishop isn't really able to move to good squares because there's rook c1. But bishop takes h7 is I'm actively allowing him to take the pawn with check. But after king goes over, I'm threatening to take the bishop, then trap his next bishop. So he pulls the bishop back to d2. Nice. All right. Still can't prevent him from castling though. How do I prevent the castle? If I takes, okay, how do I do this? If I takes, knight takes, queen here, he castles very, very safely. But then there's bishop c6, right? Or what else do I have? The time is running out. Okay, let's try that. Let's takes. I'm just trying to attack. Like, is there just no attack there? Oh, I forgot that h7 is still hanging. H7. Okay, let's just go for it. Let's go queen g5. Let's go queen g5. If he castle, can I sack my knight? Takes, takes, check. Takes, takes, check. There's rook block. Okay, bishop c6 is an idea. Bishop c6, he checks king over bishop e4. Bishop e4 takes, hit the rook. Takes, check. Rook f2. And then I'm just losing. Maybe I need to play f5 here. But knight f3 is coming anyways. Can't believe I didn't get anything from this. Let's go queen h. Nah. Or maybe just h6. Okay, I'm going to play f5. f5 is a very risky move because I'm weakening e6. He puts the knight on f3. And now I'm thinking just queen to h5, just moving my queen out the way. And my pieces are doing fine. I have a weak backward pawn on e6, which means trading pieces off the board is not what I want to do. He pulls the rook back, which makes a lot of sense. He's playing very, very quickly. That makes me feel very uncomfortable. Do I have an attack? Bishop back, knight back, rook. Okay, let's go rook f6, rook h6 ideas. Like, I'm gonna start my own attack. Like, usually, if there's no weaknesses around the opponent's king, there's no attack there. But I'm just gonna try to start my own attack. I'm about to rewrite chess rules. If he goes rook c1, I cannot trade, so I'm gonna go rook f8, and then I'm gonna try g5, g4, rook h6, and then mate him. Like, that's my plan. I don't know why I'm playing so slow today, though. It's crazy. So he moves the king out of the way, which means he have some level of respect for my attack. Okay, let's play. Do I play g5 or do I play rook h6? Let's go with rook h6. Maybe I don't need to play g5, especially if I'm able to go bishop c6. Pawn to h3 I just want him to push one of the pawns on the side that his king is on. That's all I want. Just push one of those pawns so I could get something to target. Nice. Now I'm thinking of g5. There's knight back ideas though. Bishop here, if I pull the bishop back, he attacks the bishop. I sack the knight. He takes the bishop. That doesn't make any sense. Pull the bishop back. He attacks the bishop. I play knight f4. And if he takes, that's mate. If he takes the bishop, I take here. Then if he check, I move. And then if he... Yo, what am I doing today? Let's just try. Let's just try it. Because I have to play fast. Okay, knight back to g1. Takes. Takes. Oh my... I'm so good at... Wait. No, it doesn't work. If I take, there's knight takes. Takes. Knight takes. I'm thinking of knight c3, pawn c3, maybe check. Check, king takes. God, where's my attack? Where's my attack? Knight back, knight up, knight back. Takes, knight takes, check. There's king over. Oh boy, where's my attack? Where's my attack? Okay. Oh, okay. Let's go G5, G4. Play faster than that, though, bro. What the heck? Play faster than that, man. So bishop back, I go. Bishop back, I go G5. Okay. I think there's some brilliant stuff here. Like some queen sack. Knight C3 takes, pawn takes, check. Backside, that's mate. What the fruit? No, that's not mate. There's king up. Wait. Knight C3 takes, check. King up. Takes, king up. Wow, why am I not able to find mate here? What is he gonna play next? What is he gonna play next? I want to take on I just want to sacrifice stuff. I mean, worst case scenario, I move the queen, then take. So he moves the rook. Knight C3 takes, jack, king up, takes, king up. Was this mate? No, that just doesn't work. That just doesn't work. Let's play queen h4. Queen h4 attacks the pawn, and I'm threatening to take. I think I'm missing stuff. I need to work on my tactics actually. I'm gonna do some tactics after this. So the bishop is on the same line as this king. This is unprotected. Pawn. Oh my god! He plays g3 and my bishop is on the same line as the king. Wait. Knight c3 check. Knight c3. If king up, that's mate. My god. Knight c. Oh, let's just do it actually. Knight c3 bishop. Let's just go knight c3 check. I'm not sure if it works, but I'm attacking his queen. He moves the king, sack the queen, knight takes, rook takes, king back. I am so good at this game. This is mate. Queen takes, knight takes, rook takes, king back. Rook h1 is mate. Check. He's gonna resign. He's gonna resign. Okay, he didn't resign. Check. He's gonna resign now. He didn't resign. That's mate.